Hey there, I'm Bob from CORSAIR, and today we're going to figure out which size of keyboards suits you best. Let's begin with the full size. Everyone grew up with one on their desk, which is why this is still the de facto design for a keyboard. But when anything is made to accommodate for everyone, you'll always end up with a few things that not everyone actually needs. So how do we solve that? Well, let's take a look at the full size and see what we could dare to do without. Full size keyboards have 104 keys in the USA and 105 everywhere else, generally speaking. But do we really need that many? Well, not all of us do. An accountant should look away now because the first thing to go on the chopping block is the numpad. Removing the numpad results in the TKL, or 10 keyless. I've personally never seen anyone bind inputs to the numpad, and I certainly haven't myself. So with 87 keys in the US and 88 everywhere else, we've certainly cut down. But can we go further? Well, maybe we can. How often do we actually use these? Admittedly, it's hard to say goodbye to delete, but that's nothing that function and backspace can't replace. This then leaves us with the 60%. This is the smallest commonly found layout. Now we have 61 keys in the US and 63 everywhere else. And we've finally reached an arrangement with no wasted space. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is the main reason for the 60%'s popularity. This choice creates a perfectly rectangular shape with no gaps. This means it looks seriously neat on the desk and creates more real estate for the greedy gaming mouse. So that's our main three, but there are more keyboard sizes out there. We just released the CORSAIR K65 Pro Mini, and that splits the difference between the TKL and the 60% by giving you arrow keys, delete, and a couple of other nice to haves. There are also custom options that can go as low as 40%, giving you just 47 keys, which is the bare minimum to type. Most should avoid this unless you like to swap out your keyboard here and there. But we're getting away from the main point now, so let's get back to the main guys and figure out which is which you want, and which is best. For those that need the versatility of being able to switch from work mode to gaming mode, maybe you work from home and game from the same setup, or maybe the work you do specifically requires things like a numpad, then the old faithful full size is the best pick for you. Moving back to the TKL, we of course lose the numpad, which for some can be the most extraneous feature of keyboards and easily worth removing. Personally, I think the TKL is the best option for people looking to switch up their keyboard. It's comprehensive and compact. And if the bulk of your computer time is spent gaming, this is probably the one for you. The 60% by comparison does forego some proper functionality, requiring some memorization of keyboard shortcuts and more trips back to the mouse, especially for people who spend a lot of time in Word documents. But what it renounces in practicality though, it retains in aesthetics. Just look at it. No gaps, slim bezels, neat rectangular shape. And if you frequently roam the streets of the Battle Station subreddit, you'll notice that the most attractive minimalist setups usually have a 60% keyboard as the centerpiece. It's also worth considering if you're a low IPS gamer, as it maximizes available mouse space, making the 60% a very strong option for small desks. Ultimately, the best size keyboard for you is going to be driven by your own preference. But don't be afraid to try new things out. Remember, it's all about how you use it. Hopefully you learned something today, and if you're looking to grab yourself a new keyboard, make sure to check out the CORSAIR website for our full range.